If you're running Google Ads or using Google Analytics 4 on your website and you haven't set up consent mode v2 yet, there's a very real chance that your tracking is already broken or at least incomplete. And the worst part, you might not even realize it. Your conversions can start disappearing, your remarketing audiences shrink, and your data inside GA4 starts looking way worse than reality. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through exactly how to implement Google Consent Mode v2 with GA4 in a way that actually works. No fluff, no overcomplicated jargon, just what you need to get this set up correctly. Why Consent Mode v2 actually matters. All right, quick context before we jump into the setup. Google's Consent Mode is basically a way to tell Google how it's allowed to track users based on their consent choices. So instead of just firing all your tags like normal, your site adjusts behavior depending on whether someone accepts or rejects cookies. Now with Consent Mode v2, Google added two new signals: add_user_data and add_personalization. And these work alongside the original ones of add_storage and analytics_storage. What this means in plain English: you're now telling Google, can I store cookies? Can I track analytics? Can I use user data for ads? Can I personalize ads? And here's the important part. If you're running Google Ads, especially with remarketing or conversion tracking, and you have users in regions like the EEA, Google expects you to be using these signals. If you're not, your tracking can become limited and your ad performance can take a hit because Google has less data to work with. Basic versus advanced mode. Keep this simple. This is where most people get confused, so let's simplify it. There are two ways to run consent mode. Basic mode. Basic mode is exactly what it sounds like. Nothing fires until the user says yes. So no consent equals no tracking. No cookies equal no data. Super clean from a privacy standpoint, but you're gonna lose a lot of data. Advanced mode. Advanced mode is a little more nuanced. Tags can fire before consent, but in a limited privacy-safe way. Instead of full tracking, Google sends cookieless pings, basically anonymized signals that help with modeling. So once someone accepts cookies, tracking upgrades to full mode, and if they don't, Google still fills in some gaps using modeled data. The trade-off: basic mode, maximum privacy, less data. Advanced mode, better data, slightly more complex compliance. This is something that you should align with your legal team on, but from a performance standpoint, most businesses lean toward advanced mode. Who this setup is for. So before we jump into the steps, quick reality check. If you're running a Shopify store, using WordPress, running Google Ads, tracking conversions in GA4, then this applies to you. Doesn't matter what platform you're on, the logic is the same. Step 1, choose a consent management platform. First thing you need is a CMP, a consent management platform. This is what actually shows the cookie banner, stores user preferences, sends consent signals to Google. Some popular options include Cookiebot, OneTrust, and other Google certified CMP partners. And that last part's important. If you're targeting users in the EEA, make sure that your CMP is Google certified for consent. If you're targeting users in the EEA, make sure your CMP is Google certified for Consent Mode v2, because not all of them fully support the newer requirements. Step 2, set up GA4 with Google Tag Manager. Next, you need GA4 installed, ideally through Google Tag Manager. Inside Google Tag Manager, create a new tag, choose GA4 configuration, add your measurement ID, set it to fire on all pages. That's your baseline tracking. And quick note, this setup works whether you're doing standard client-side tracking or server-side tagging. But for most people, GTM is the easiest place to manage all of this. Step 3, set default consent state. Critical step. This is one of the most important parts of the entire setup. Before a user does anything, you need to tell Google, we do not have consent yet. Inside GTM, create a new tag, choose custom HTML, set it to fire on consent initialization. Then add this script, which we'll put on the screen here. What this does, it blocks tracking by default, so nothing runs unless the user explicitly allows it. And because it's in a consent initialization trigger, it fires before anything else, which is exactly what you want. Step 4, update consent when the user makes a choice. Now we need to handle what happens when someone interacts with your cookie banner. Your CMP should fire an event when the user accepts all cookies or rejects all, or chooses specific categories. Inside GTM, you create another tag to update consent. For example, if someone accepts everything, put this script in there. If they only accept analytics, put this script in there. Everything else equals denied. Your CMP usually handles this mapping automatically. You just need to connect it correctly. Step 5, configure your tags to respect consent. This is where a lot of people mess up, even if you set consent correctly. Your tags also need to respect it. Inside GTM, open your GA4 tag, open your Google Ads tag, check consent settings. For example, GA4 requires this, so if consent isn't granted, those tags won't fire, basic mode, or will fire in limited mode, which is advanced mode. Step 6, test everything. Don't skip this. Seriously, don't just assume it works. Testing is where you catch mistakes. Use Google Tag Assistant GA4 debug view. Here's what you want to see. Before consent, tags blocked or in limited mode, no cookies being stored. After accepting cookies, full tracking enabled. Tags firing normally. Also test accept all, reject all. Partial consent, and make sure consent choices persist across pages. Common mistakes to avoid. And this is where most setups go wrong. 1. Tags firing before consent. If your default consent tag isn't set up properly, you could be tracking users before they agree. Big compliance issue. 2. CMP not connected to GTM properly. Your banner shows up, but it's not actually updating consent. So your setup looks right, but isn't doing anything. 3. Forgetting the new V2 signals. A lot of people only set ad storage, analytics storage, and forget add user data and add personalization. That breaks compliance for V2. 4. Not testing different scenarios. Everything works when you click accept all, but breaks everywhere else. You need to test every path. Legal considerations. Quick reality check. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but here's what you need to know. If you're dealing with users in the EEA, you need explicit opt-in consent. That means no tracking before consent, no implied consent, clear user choice. Also, store consent preferences, allow users to change them, and update your privacy policy. If you're unsure, talk to a legal professional. What happens after you set this up? Once everything is live, you might notice some changes. In basic mode, less data, missing conversions, smaller remarketing audiences. In advanced mode, more complete reporting, modeled conversions, better overall visibility. So if your numbers drop a little after setup, that's normal. It just means your tracking is now more accurate and compliant. So at the end of the day, this isn't just a nice to have setup anymore. If you're running ads, tracking conversions, or doing anything data-driven, consent mode V2 is essential. The process is pretty straightforward. Choose a CMP, set default consent to denied, update consent based on user choice, configure your tags. Test everything. Do that and you're in a much better spot, legally, technically, and from a performance standpoint. So if you're running Google Ads and you haven't set this up yet, I'd prioritize this ASAP because your data literally depends on it. So if you want links to any of the tools that we recommend for this, I'll have links for them down in the description below. Some of these may be affiliate links, which means we earn a small commission when you use them at no extra cost to you. It helps support the channel, so if you use them, we really appreciate it. And if this video helped you out, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Here on My First Website, we keep things simple, helping you build, optimize, and actually understand what's going on behind your site. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.